Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you are here for the first time, please do not forget to hit that subscribe button down below, and do not forget to hit the like button also, and also share. Today is a different setting entirely. As you can see, I decided to take a different position because what I intend to talk about is something I've tagged reality check. Why do I say reality check? Because it was born out of a story I was reading while going through my computer today. I think it happened sometimes not too precise, like a year or two. It's about a Nigerian who lived all his life abroad, I think over 45 years, and having built something back at home in Nigeria, he decided to go back home, and while in Nigeria he died in a kind of mysterious way, and you kind of wonder what could have happened. And there are many other stories like that. So I was having a lot of thinking about this myth that living abroad makes you rich. I'm actually going to talk and share my view about that notion, especially people back home, wherever they are in Africa, having that myth about those of us living in diaspora as being rich. I'm not saying that there are no Africans that or that are living in Western countries that are not rich, but what is the percentage? That is really where the question lies, and it's actually a myth, and the people back home need to understand some things. I've highlighted some things. I've actually written them down, so I will be reading from my diary some of the things I've listed down to kind of help me focus on the topic itself. It's rather sad that many people, having left the motherland Africa after several years, come to the West and work hard, and when some decide to go back home, something sad happens, and it raises a lot of questions about what is the real problem. A lot of people take on jobs, many jobs. Some do two, three jobs just to make the ends meet, just to keep up actually. And it's not always easy. There are many factors that people who live abroad have to deal with. Number one is the weather, which is not actually favorable to most of us that came from the temperate region of Africa, whereby you always have a warm weather. Your body is used to the warm weather, and you find yourself in an environment whereby the weather is totally different, and you have to deal with that. You have to do your day-to-day activities. You have to go out, you have to go to work, you have to go for your appointments at different times. So many factors are involved. Take for instance, here in Germany, it's actually a country that lives on tax. So they take about 30 to 40% of your gross income. So, and that is how the economy runs. When you work, the government take the necessary taxes, and before you get your net income. So what am I trying to say? By the time you get your, take for instance, maybe you are working and you receive salary. There are some people that have their own businesses, but the percentage compared to people that do day-to-day job is definitely low. So majority of us living in diaspora, we live based on the salary we earn, and by the time you receive this money at the end of the month, or on weekly basis, or every 2 weeks, as in some cases, you realize that you have a whole lot of expenses to pay. The first one is your rent, because wherever you are living, you pay your rent. And some people have bought houses and it's on mortgage, so on monthly basis they pay a certain amount of money. Another particular expense is your electricity. You are being billed every month based on what you use. We use internet a lot, so on your phone at home you need internet. Without internet I can't put up this video, so I pay a certain amount. Then on food, then God helps you when you have kids, you have to pay more on feeding, taking care of the family. Then clothing and other things. After that, there is now this responsibility of taking care of people back home, which is actually killing a whole lot of people. I'm not counting myself out because I'm involved in this. What am I trying to address here? I think there should be kind of better understanding of what is actually going on here. And I think a lot of people that live in diaspora make a lot of mistake by creating the wrong impression that everything is all glossy out there. And the people back home kind of have this impression that, yeah, things are rosy and people just want to be here by all means. I will bust your bubble. It is not all that rosy. Yeah, I mean what I just said. People do all kinds of jobs just to keep life going. And I've interacted with some of my friends here, and I see that we all go through similarly the same pressure. And yeah, family pressure back home in Africa, the responsibility of taking care of, if not the entire family back home, because all eyes are on you and you have to step up and live up to that expectation. And it has sent so many people to early graves. These are even facts. I'm not just making things up. These are facts. You see a whole lot of stories out there. Some people have invested their um, active years working, battling through the bad weather just to earn something, send back home, hoping that by the time they retire, they fall back on something. And by the time they get home, we've heard all kinds of funny stories. How relationship even turns out between parents and the children because something is expected to be done, money being diverted, all manners of stories. But I am actually putting out this video to bear my mind and make us understand the fact. And I mean both those staying in diaspora and those of us that are back home in Africa, to have that understanding that things are not the way it seems or not always the way it seems. It's quite tough. Many people are even in diaspora and haven't even found their feet yet. And the impression back home is, oh, my son has been there long years. So there's an assumption that, okay, he's doing well, he's earning money. And some, when they are not even getting anything from whoever the relative is that is living abroad, is time to be called stingy. That is, it doesn't give out, or it's not even communicating with the family, and that might not be his case. Perhaps in some cases he doesn't even have any proper documents and is trying to just survive, but sometimes out of shame is not able to like tell people back home his true situation out of shame. And it's rather sad because a whole lot of pressure is on such person and he doesn't even know how to go about it. So he keeps to himself or herself. There are a lot of challenges people face when they get to the Western world. It is not the old story you heard even before you leave. I personally also, the story were not all as expected. I just have to make some readjustments and fit into the system because the system is bound to shake you at the beginning. And if you are not able to stay focused and be stable mentally, it can run you crazy. Believe me. I'm just going to say this as an advice to those of us living in diaspora. Please do what you can and don't put too much pressure on yourself because I don't think anybody can play God. You cannot play the role of God in everybody's life. You can only do what you can, because if you try to play God and you try to do all you can to make everybody happy, trust me, it's the end result might not be what you envisage. So we need to tread carefully and know that you can only do what you can do in your own little way. I'm not saying don't help people, but please know what your limits are. Don't drive yourself too hard to the point that you are not even living a life. So please, for those of us living abroad, take a step back. Am I doing too much? Am I doing too little? Or do I need to take it slow. You need to ask yourself that question because before you know it, time's run out so fast and retirement age is knocking at the door and there's little you can do at that time. Use your time wisely. When it comes to money, please save up. I always tell people, don't always eat with all your fingers or you say there's too much expenses. Don't you ever live above your means. You will be drowning yourself. And if you are carrying too much burdens, it's like somebody in already in water trying to swim and stay afloat. And responsibility, and I mean financial responsibility now, that is on he or she kind of weigh you down. And what happens is eventually you get drowned in the water, and that's is not a good story. So please do not let that be your story. Let's always prioritize, do what is important, leave what is not too necessary, and focus on what is important. If something is putting too much pressure on you, then take time to reevaluate what that thing is and reevaluate things so you can take the best decision and live your life while you are still alive. Because it's possible to just allow time to pass by without actually living your life. So for the people back home, please, there is need for us to understand also that it is not all that rosy in the Western world. I have heard many stories. I've had calls from people, and I'm like, is this what you're going through? So I'm not saying people shouldn't explore or seek greener pastures because absolutely things are out of the way back home. But at the same time, let's make sure we are taking the right decision. I want to drop the curtain here. And please, if you have a different opinion to what I've said, if you're living either in diaspora or in back home in Africa, share your comments, share your thoughts about what you feel about this topic. And on that note, I want to say, please stay safe. And before I forget, do not forget to subscribe, hit the like button if you've enjoyed it, and also share with others. Till I come your way next time, I remain yours. Peace out.